My name's David Reed. I'm the foreman at Herringston Estates, which is a couple of miles outside of Dorchester in Dorset. We run a 80 cow suckler herd of various types of cows, Simmentals, Limousins, Aberdeen Angus, and our main aim is to try and find out which is the best for the produce that we got, because we've only been doing it about 5 years, so we're quite new at beef farming. We used to have 3 dairies, but all getting quite old, and the dairymen getting old. It was decided that when the last dairyman wanted to retire, that we weren't going to spend a lot of money on building one big dairy. We decided to go down the less intensive route and take on the suckler herd. We're a 1,000-acre farm with arable as well, which is run separate to the beef side of things. One of the main reasons why we're at 80 cow suckler herd is because at Herringston here we have 2 blocks of meadows, one 28 hectares and one 22 hectares, and on each block we put 40 cows in their calves. But come at the end of May, 11 hectares has to be taken out of grazing production to be left for hay. So it's very, very low extensive beef that we rear. We do no intensive feed at all. It's normally everything that we feed is produced on the estate. In the winter it's silage with barley mix which comes from the estate. So we use Simmental bull and an Aberdeen Angus bull on our cows, and we are trying AI sex semen to rear our heifers so that we don't have to buy in any replacements, which hopefully will help the herd health over time. And we finish everything on the farm. We don't sell stores. We keep everything that we produce, which is sold through meadow quality meat, which they go out and get the best price for. We've sold a lot of Aberdeen Angus to Scotch in the Scotch beef sales to make a bit more per kilogram, because they do tend to sell lighter weights than our Simmental crosses. Our aim is in the future with the breeding stock with the cows is to do away with the Angus cows, because we find that with our bulky material that we grow here, that the bigger animal does better. The Angus tend to get fat and don't grow enough for our kilogram carcass weights. So we're going away from the Angus cows but keeping an Angus bull. So eventually, as the AI, I've AI'd 2 years now with Simmental sex semen, and this year I'll have some Hereford sex semen. So that is an ongoing project that we want to do, but at the moment we're not getting the percentage of conception rate that we would like. So under the guidance of our vet this year, Andy Adler, we will hopefully get a better conception rate. At the moment we're about 30-40% where we need to be 50%. We came a health and livestock farm 2 years ago with help. Andy Adler come to us and said, will we be interested in having 3 farm visits a year, which we agreed to, even though we were very new at beef. I'm sure there's other people out there with far more experience, but so therefore it was a way for us to learn how to improve our beef enterprise perhaps a bit quicker than making mistakes along the way, because by having these meetings we were able to have 30 plus beef farmers come to the farm, and we sort of took from their experience plus all the speakers that we were with. We also obviously the various problems like BVD and Jonas disease was a big factor, so Andy sort of went along those lines, so we were able to incorporate the vet on testing for Jonas disease and also with the BVD, which we were already vaccinating our heifer cows with leptovoid, BVD and IBR. We cut out the IBR, but we still do the leptovoid and the BVD. So hopefully over the years with the blood testing, we haven't had any positives on the Jonas disease yet, so hopefully we're we're reasonably clear of that, and with our sex semen breeding we hope to stay clear of that. So with all these factors in and the various speakers that we have with grassland, I've put in different grass lays to improve our silage for the finishers, but most of our grass is permanent grass which are on hay meadows. So another factor in the health and livestock is the worming, which being on meadows and being wet, we had to make sure that we were up to date with that. So we do worm for fluke in Christmas time on the cows, and then with the weaners we give them a broad spectrum wormer a month or so after housing in November. Otherwise there is no other wormers used at all. They normally have one wormer before they go off the farm at 22 to 24 months. And we do, which is another thing we come up with the project that we were on, was dung sampling, which we now do every month during the summer months. So being able to find out whether we do get a problem. At the moment we haven't had any problem, and hopefully that'll continue, but by dung sampling, for the cost of it, it is cost effective to know if we have a problem which might arise later. Our bulls go in on the 1st of June, and originally when we first did it for the first 2 years we were leaving them in for 12-13 weeks. But after we had one or two of these meetings and speaking to our vet, the decision was made that it tended to drag on, and the 1 or 2 cows that you're waiting for are far better being culled than to wait those 2 or 3 weeks with the same intensity of having to wash them. So we've now managed to go back from 13 weeks to 10 weeks with the bulls in, and that has reduced a lot of work, and 96% of our cows are calved in the first 8 to 9 weeks. So we've pulled it back by 3 weeks now on our calving without any detrimental effect to actually the percentage of cows that we get in calf. Also, when we first started, most of our killing out was O plus 4Ls, 3Ls. So obviously this is where we need to improve. So we then bought a young Simmental bull. The Angus bull that we had was the O'Derry bull, so we changed him to another younger bull, and now we've managed to get most of our carcasses into our 4Ls. And actually getting a few more ewes this year than we've been used to. So things is going in the right direction as far as the confirmation of the carcass is concerned. This is another reason why we were thinking about moving out from the Aberdeen Angus cows, is because we can get the Simmental carcasses up to about 315, 320 carcass weight, whereas the Aberdeen Angus were going and killing out about 280, 290. So although, and plus for some reason the Aberdeen Angus carcasses with conformations were still around about O pluses, we could not find, we just could not get Aberdeen Angus up to ours very often. So is what we feed, what we do is obviously doesn't support the Aberdeen Angus as well as other places. So that is the reason why we're changing over to the heavy carcasses, seem to give us the better money. They're all fed, the finishers are all fed on silage that we make here and a barley mix. The young stock, when they're weaned, are fed on ad lib silage with a kilo to kilo and a half of milling mix from the barley as well. So there's no buffer feeding or anything at all for the calves or the cows during summer. So like I say, it's a very long protracted finishing up to 24 months, but it works for us and it enables us to get forage of a more dry matter, and the bigger cows seem to thrive on it better than the smaller cows. Okay, the Southwest Health and Livestock Initiative that we had here, the meetings that we had over the 2 years, obviously made us more aware of what we're doing and how we were doing it, because obviously we were in focus for those 2 years with 30 odd other beef producers coming on every meeting. It was essential that we sort of did the right thing, and it made us do the right thing. And with the various speakers that we had, grassland management, the minerals that cows need, etc., and the vet has all been a great help to make us go forward and do the right thing for the health of the cow. And so we're more than pleased to do it for 2 years, because we got a lot out of it. Even if it was speaking to the farmers that come to the meetings, then all the professionals that come and spoke at the meetings, it gave us a lot of insight, and a lot of work was put into those meetings. And I think it come up trumps for us anyway, because we will go further now with the experience we got from those meetings. We can now put into practice.